Hey guys, and welcome back to another Factorio Workshop. As always, I am joined by Zuri.
Greetings.
And this is kind of a part two to the Kovarex process builds we went over. I think it was the video before last. We have quite a few of them, and there's actually still quite a few more to cover. We kind of got flooded with these, so we're trying to get through them here. And there's some more here, even unique again from the previous one. So I'm going to start over here on the right side. This one is submitted by GMT, and it's I'm going to be honest with you. Personally, I don't understand it at all. I think Zuri has somewhat of a grasp on it.
Yeah, I don't want to go about explaining it, though. It's a pretty good exercise to figure out what they did. I like the light, though.
Yeah, the light's really nice. So it has, it has a counter in here that counts the 235 that comes in, I think. And then this combinator is connected to this to the other combinator in the chest here and the inserter. But this we looked over this for like 15 minutes, and we did read the description they gave, but it's just but we can't really figure it out.
Well, I'm pretty sure I figured it out. I'm just not very good at explaining things sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, it would be pretty complicated to explain. There's all these inserters going through here, but like Zuri said, it's a good exercise, to kind of look through the combinators and see what they did here. And then they're obviously passing through boxes and stuff. That's fairly standard. So this is one option, and it is entirely bot-based. Obviously, you do see there are no belts. Ooh, the light changed.
Yeah, it's because it had enough
Sweet, I do
to
like that
supply
as well.
itself. Yeah.
Very cool. So yeah, definitely worth checking out if you do understand it or are curious and want to check out the combinators and the methods they used. Very good here. So this one by Banana is kind of a mixture of bot and belt based, and it's quite a bit more simple. You did a pretty good job of explaining this, Zuri, if you want to do it again here.
All right. Well, you got to prime it manually, like many designs. I think the one on the right is supposed to be self-priming. You just set it up, and it only ever requests. And then after it requests enough, you can get rid of the requester chest and the active provider. I think that's how it's supposed to work, because it only inputs enough to feed this machine once.
Yeah.
And then it feeds itself. For this design, you put in your 40 to get it started, and when this completes, the output insert pulls it out. There's no limit on it.
Mm-hmm.
It spreads it on the belt, and then this stack filter inserter has itself limited to, you set it to 8, but it could be any number that's an integer, a divisor of 40.
Mm-hmm.
So 10 would work as well.
Yeah.
So this will pick up 5 stacks at 8 until it fills up the chest, and then there's 40 in the chest. The fast inserter putting into the active provider kicks on, which is the extra U235, gets put in the chest, and as soon as the belt is empty, the inserter taking from the still chest here can refeed the centrifuge.
Yeah, exactly. So it waits to insert the 235 from the chest into the centrifuge until the belt is empty here, and it's made sure that it gets what is needed and the excess has been put out. And you can see it working here. So he grabs 5 stacks of 8 here. He sticks the last ones in, as well as the 238, so it's not filtered, because it does need to grab that 238 as well. So yeah, this comes in sets of 4s here. I don't think it's necessarily tileable. You could stick it right next to each other. Actually, it may be... Yeah, not really. You can kind of tile a little bit, but either way, it's pretty easy to understand. I like it. I kind of like the combination of belts and bots here, which are really just used to request the 238. But,
yeah, they
yeah.
treat the 238 as you're probably not going to run out of it. So a lot of these designs just request a ton of 238.
Mm-hmm. And then lastly over here by Erd, this one I quite like. It is tileable, both up, down, and sideways with the overlapping the beacons here. And it's even more, well, I wouldn't say even more simple, but it is very simple, and this one is entirely bot based. So I don't know if you want to go over this, Zuri, if you'd like me to.
Well, like most designs, it's not. It doesn't self prime, so you've got to set the first group of 40 in there.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as it completes its craft, it moves. Let's see, the stacks of 10 on the stack filter inserter on the output side.
Yeah.
And so the box is wired to the inserter that goes up, and if there's 10 in the box, it picks them up, moves them up until that's empty. And then the last U235, because it's not a stack of 10, it just puts that last one into the box. And then the long-handed inserter turns on, and we'll move the extra one over to the passive provider.
Mm-hmm.
And it does have a set point here, so that when the amount in the passive provider chest here, and I think it's at the iron chest, adds up to whatever you set U to, it stops producing.
Yeah, exactly. So this is set, it came with this as 400, which is, again, wired to this passive here. So once there's 400 in this passive, it'll stop working because, again, this guy is set to work if 235 is less than U. And then, yeah, as Zuri said, this just passes through in sets of 10. If the amount in here is greater than 10, then obviously there's the one left. The long-handed exports it into here. And then it just passes the 238 out the back through a requester, which requests it initially and once it gets low, because obviously it does take more to do a process than it actually gives you back. But yeah, so this one is pretty straightforward, tileable, and you could set this to whatever you want as well, which I kind of like. Now, you had mentioned, Zuri, there was no port connection, so it's kind of interesting because it seems like this is just based off what's in the provider on like a per build basis rather than the entire network.
Yeah. So each chest will try to hold up to 400.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is definitely not a bad way to do it at all. It's just a little bit different than what you might expect initially. So I believe that's it. Did you have any other thoughts for any of these three builds?
No, we got everything.
Alright guys, well there you go. Blueprints in the description as always. Check them out if you'd like. We do have even more of these, so we'll probably do a part 3 or 4 at some point in the future to get through all of them. But hopefully this gave you some inspiration and you enjoyed and found it helpful. Love to hear your thoughts in the comments as always. And until next time, we will catch you later.
Later.